representatives are currently busy. Please stay on the line, and your call will be answered by the next available representative. The estimated hold time is currently less than 96 minutes. You are currently caller number 32.
Are you tired of getting blown out of the water by other web hosting solutions? At BladeNode.com, our affordable web hosting and quick customer support is our #1 priority. BladeNode Web Hosting was started with a mission to provide premium hosting at half the price as other hosts without sacrificing features, reliability, and 24/7 customer support with a live technician. Join our community today by visiting BladeNode.com and using promo code BLADE10 for 10% off your first package.
With the Butt Kicker Gamer 2, what you see and what you hear is what you feel. Butt Kicker. The future is feeling.
Welcome back, and how you doing, race fans? Here tonight, Thursday night action, Cyber Thunder Pro Cup Series, presented to you by BladeNode.com. Simple web solutions powered by nerds. Hits the short track here in the heartland for the Corn Country 135 here at Iowa Speedway. Short track, but fast track. Driver's going to be laying it all out there on the edge for sure. How you doing? How you feeling? Thanks for joining us once again here on the Turn 3 Racing Network. As always, I am Darkside Dave in the cave here in the Turn 3 Racing Network booth, bringing you all the great action here trackside for the Cyber Thunder Pro Cup Series. These drivers have been putting on an absolute show all season long as we enter race number 10 here tonight at Iowa. The chase right around the corner. Speaking of the chase, why don't we go ahead and throw a little official business up there for you on screen. Your championship points coming into tonight's race. There you see Tanner Tallarico sitting at the top of the points chart. Brett Hahn right there behind him. Last week's race winner, Brett the Jet, finally getting the monkey off his back and breaking in to a victory lane. Chris Harvey right there. Eddie Behan. GT Irizarry drops a few spots in the point standings, now back in the 5th spot. Brian Dorsey, Tom Richard, Craig Bell, Chris Dean, and Mike Berg round out your top 10. Tim Rogers right there. There you can see very close points battles. Jeff Sharp, Bradley Beam, and Cole Gray all battling right there. 14th, 15th, 16th. Very, very close battles all throughout the field. Going to scroll a little further back, show you a little bit more of the battles. There you see Mike Grandy, Jay Morris, Bob Rogerson, all involved in a very close points battle. Richard Pruitt, Andrew Payne, right there, close points battle as well. Still some close points battles going on back here as well. Jamie Beasley and the 25 of Nick Fleury, they're battling out right now around the 30th spot in the point standings. But Fleury having some good runs as of late. Well, with about, looks like about 3.5 minutes remaining here in happy hour, we'll go ahead and throw you a little bit of the track information and how the weather's looking out there tonight. Just a little slight breeze northeast, so not really going to affect these drivers. No, not really going to mess with the headwinds or tailwinds or getting into the corners. 78 degrees ambient temperature. The track only right there, 2 degrees hotter, 80 degrees for the track temperature here in Newton, Iowa. So, look for that to maybe stay right around the 80-degree mark, possibly drop a little bit as this race moves throughout the night here at Iowa Speedway. And, man, oh, man, last week's race at Las Vegas, man, that was one heck of a race, man. That was a crazy one towards the end there, if you remember that one. Thanks for tuning in once again here on the Turn 3 Racing Network to the Cyber Thunder BladeNode.com Pro Cup Series. It's the Corn Country 135. Tell you what, got a little time on our hands, so why don't we go up in the grandstands here, watch a few of these drivers make their way around the track. There you see the 71 of Brett Hahn, last week's race winner, out there on track, turning a few laps here in the final few moments of happy hour. There you go, a little bit of information about Brett the Jet, right there out of RHU Racing. Tanner Tallarico Design sponsorship on that 71 machine. Looking good, looking fine. Let's see if he can't repeat the process and go back to victory lane once again this week. There you see the 42 up the track just a little bit. Looks like he's on some older tires. Paul Turner at the end of a long green flag run here in the final minute and a half of happy hour. And oh, trouble right up in front of him. On track, car through the grass, another car down on the apron. Looks like that was the 32 of Chris Wold as he goes back to pit road now. Cole Gray, Jeff Sharp, David Gain fourth, as well as Richard Pruitt, all out on track, turning a few laps. And with around about 60 seconds or so left before we head off into qualifying. Tell you what, we're going to break away for just a brief commercial break. We'll come back trackside with all your qualifying action live here from Iowa Speedway.
The most realistic online racing sim ever made. This is iRacing. Detailed laser scan tracks, fully dynamic real world cars, and over 50 series to choose from. 6 online world championships offering over $100,000 in annual prizes. This is the original esport racing game. This is iRacing.
And back trackside, just as promised, as the final few seconds of happy hour tick off the clock. Red flag now being displayed. Green flag already being thrown here for our 10-minute qualifying session. Let's see who's going to jump out there first. Looks like Tom Richard looking to get in his car. Frank DiMaggio, Michael Sturgill, Brett Hahn, Bob Rogerson also in their cars. I tell you what, Brett Hahn, first driver out there on track, so let's jump on board with that 71 as he puts down his qualifying times. As these drivers get up to speed and get going, we'll begin to throw a little bit of the information up there on the left-hand side of your screen. There you see as the qualifying ticker shows who's out there up to speed already. Nick Fleury out there on track. Tim Rogers, Tanner Tallarico, Michael Sturgill also beginning his time lap as Brett Hahn heads into turn 3 for the first time on his first time lap out of turn number 4. Now back to the line. Where's he going to stripe in? Looks like going to go top of the speed charts right now as he's one of the only drivers to put in a qualifying time so far. There you see Hahn top of the speed charts. Nick Fleury now going second. Cole Gray still on his time lap. Michael Sturgill, Tanner Tallarico turning in their times. Out of turn number 4, final time here in qualifying for that 71. Kenny improved, looks like 23:13 first time lap. Last time by, gonna match that time, so not improving. Nick Fleury not improving either. We'll jump back now with the 73 of Bryson Clark. Bryson going to victory lane just a handful of races ago, about 3 weeks ago. That 73 found his way to victory lane, now going through turns 1 and 2 on his second time lap. Gonna slot in fourth with his first time lap, 23:24, as Michael Sturgill steals the pole right now with that 90 machine. Oh, went into the outside wall. That lap will not count, so we'll jump back now with that 14 machine being driven by Crank Bell. Bell on his up-to-speed lap. And Michael Sturgill, he kind of snuck that in there, didn't he there, fans? Just kind of, out of nowhere, boom, top of the speed charts, top of the board. Quick time, Michael Sturgill, 23:08. Bell on his second time lap needs to improve. Can he do it? Flirting with that outside wall once again. Crossing the line. Where's he going to go? Where's he going to jump? Ooh, jumps to 5th. Not good enough to go top of the speed charts just yet. Nobody else out there on their qualifying laps. So we'll shut her down for just a brief moment here. See if we can't get another driver or two out there. Have a few drivers coming off of their time laps. Jamie Beasley gonna cross the line 8th. Bob Rogerson 9th. Michael Sturgill sitting top of the speed charts right now. Brett Hahn in 2nd. Nick Fleury 3rd. Bryson Clark, Crank Bell round out your top 5. More drivers to their cars. The 91 of Tyler Beeman. Tom Richard also to his car. We'll jump out there, watch this 91 for a second, then jump back with Tom Richard as he's on his time lapse out here as well. Beaming off of 2 down the backstretch into turn number 3 for his first time lap. Where can he shake in? First time lap is a pretty good telltale sign on where you might end up through the speed charts. Gonna go 14th for his first time lap here. We'll take a look back here in just a moment at Tom Richard as Richard jumps just behind him right there. Jumps all the way to 10th on the speed charts. We'll watch this number 34 BladeNode.com sponsored a Chevy Z01 Camaro make his way off of turn number 4, heading back to the stripe. Second time lap. Where can he go? From 10th to 8th as Tyler Beeman gonna slot in just in front of him. We'll jump back now with the 81 of Mike Berg. Race winner as well this season. 2-time victory lane visitor. Can that 81 put his machine on the top of the speed charts? We'll just have to wait and see how it goes. Now beginning his first time lap. That Valvoline 81 machine looking nice and clean right now, hugging that yellow line, coming off of turn number 2 down the backstretch heading off into turn number 3. Halfway through the qualifying session, half of the pack has made their qualifying time, and it looks like, well, no longer half, but all of the 81's chances at a pole gonna go away right there. The 2 of Chris Dean now out there on track, and that Whataburger number 2. And, I tell you what, Whataburger. That's all I'm gonna say. Crossing the line first time here in qualifying for the 2 of Chris Dean, gonna go begin his time lap off of turn number 2, now back into turn 3. The first time lap, the 2 looks nice and smooth, keeping it right there next to that yellow line. And I tell you what, let's ride on board now with the second time lap here with the 2 of Chris Dean. Dean gonna slot 12th on his first time lap, gotta make up some big ground, about 0.3 of a second. Little bit of a wiggle there, late exit of 2 for Dean, but nice and smooth here in 3 and 4. Lap looking pretty, getting a little bit of correction there. That's going to scrub some speed. Going to cross the line now. Where's he going to shake out? Where's he going to jump to? Not going to move at all. Going to stay right there in the 12th position, as we've now got 21 drivers on the speed charts with a qualifying time. Bradley Beeman going to turn in his time lap as well. 6.5, almost 7 minutes into this 10-minute qualifying session. Looks like we may have everybody done with their qualifying attempts. And just as I say that, looks like the 22 of Zach looks like the 22 of Zach Jahalis going out on track now. We'll jump out there with Zach on his first, or actually his up to speed lap here. Jahalis working his way through 3 and 4, up to speed lap, a little bit loose right there, coming off of 4, gonna cross the line, begin his first time lap, or take his first time lap right there. 13th on the speed charts. Can he go up there and take that away? He's got to make up at about 3.5 of a second. A little bit of a wiggle off of 2 once again. Gonna have to have a great 3 and 4 here. 22 looks nice and smooth. Can he keep that up? A little bit of a correction there. Seeing the hands go a little bit back to the right. Jahalis gonna improve, but only the 12th, only 1 position gained there on that second time lap. And that looks like that's gonna do it. Race fans, that's gonna be it for your qualifying session here for tonight's Corn Country 135 and Cyber Thunder Pro Cup Series, sponsored by BladeNode.com. With that being said, we're gonna head out to commercial real quick, head down trackside for your national anthem, so don't go anywhere, ladies and gentlemen. We will be right back.
Say, can you see by the dawn's early light what so proudly wailed at the twilight's last gleaming, whose broad stripes and bright stars through the perilous fight o'er the ramparts we watched were so gallantly streaming, and the rackets regular the
jets flying over. You know what time it is. It's race time. Race fans here on the Turn 3 Racing Network. The Cyber Thunder Pro Cup Series presented to you by BladeNode.com's hits the starting grid for tonight's Corn Country 135. And I tell you what, we'll go ahead, run it down for you. Your starting lineup looks like this, starting inside row number 1, pole position, the 90 of Michael Sturgill. Lining up just to his outside, the 81 of Mike Bird, row number 2, the 71 of Brett Hahn, and the 25 of Nick Fleury. Row number 3, the 73 of Bryson Clark, followed by the 14 of Crank Bell. Row number 4, Tanner Tallarico and Tyler Beeman. Row number 5, Tom Richard and Chris Wold. Row number 6, the 12 of Mike Grandy and the 55 of Eddie B. Beeman. Row number 7 here tonight, the 22 of Zach Shahalis and the 2 of Chris Dean. Bradley Beeman and Brian Dorsey gonna make up row number 8. Row number 9, the 29 of Jamie Beasley and the 78 of Bob Rogerson. Cole Gray, Tim Rogers round out row number 10. Starting in the 21st starting position here tonight, the 83 of Eric Anderson, followed by the 101 of Dave Gainforth. Inside row number 12, the 248 of Richard Pruitt, followed by the 95 of Frank DiMaggio. Row number 13, the 19 of Jeff Sharp, and the 27 of Jay Morris. Row 14 here tonight, the 42 of Paul Turner, and rounding out the field, the 93 of Andrew Payne. That's it. That's the rundown. That's your starting lineup for tonight's Corn Country 135 here in the Cyber Thunder Pro Cup Series, presented to you by BladeNode.com. Chevy Silverado Pace Truck, ready to duck off. We're ready to go. Green flag racing for the first time here tonight. Race fans, stand up, get on your feet. Here we go. Pace truck down and away, field coming to the starting line. Green flag flies for the first time here tonight at Iowa Speedway. 135 laps around the track for these drivers tonight. Michael Sturgill gets off to a great jump. Field looks good and clean through the first few corners here. Now taking a little bit further look back through the field. There you see it. We'll jump back here, give you a little bit more of the action as this field gets underway here tonight too. And almost 3 wide there for a brief moment. Nick Fleury just in front of Bryson Clark, Tanner Tallarico, Crank Bell. Those drivers mixing it all up. Tom Richard right there. He's on the just in front of that 91. Here comes the 55 just behind him. The 32 of Chris Wold battling for positions. A lot of different spots on this track to run. Track pretty wide but pretty slick. But Michael Sturgill at the front right now, leading every lap. You will notice on the ticker, Tanner Tallarico sitting in green right now. That's your points leader, your championship leader coming into tonight's race. So he is lit up in the green. We'll see how things shake down when these drivers get a little bit closer to the chase. We'll get a little more graphics going on for you, let you know who's in and who's out and who's trying to kick the door in. Right now, Michael Sturgill trying to kick the door into victory lane, leading every lap since the drop of the green flag. Has about a 3-car length race lead over Mike Berg. Looking back through the field now, we'll get a little closer as things starting to calm down just a little bit. I say calm down, but here's a 2-3 car battle right here. Nick Fleury, Bryson Clark, Tanner Tallarico. That is 4th, 5th, and 6th on track. Just behind them, about a half a second back, you can find Crank Bell, Tom Richard, Tyler Beeman, and Mike Grandy. They're battling for position, as well as Tanner Tallarico makes his way to the inside of the 73. Bryson Clark falling back now to make it 3 positions, sitting now back in the 6th spot. It's not just the battles at the front. Look at the battles at the back here, race fans. The 92, Bradley Beeman, Bob Rogerson, Brian Dorsey, Cole Gray, they're all right here battling for position. 14th all the way back through 19th. they're all under a blanket as well, so it's not just the battle at the front you got to keep your eye on. There's small battles going on all over the track very early here tonight. There you see another one right up in front of Mike Grandy, Tom Richard, Tyler Beeman, Crank Bell, all nose to tail, making their way down the backstretch, lap number 7 out of the 135 scheduled in tonight's official race distance. And Richard, he is all over that rear bumper right now, working over the 14 of Bell very early here tonight. Pass being made. Tyler Beeman looking to take the spot away from Mike Grandy. Beeman looking on the inside, still not able to make the pass just yet. Gonna lose a little bit of ground as Grandy keeps it on that high side, keeps the momentum built up, keeps the RPM wound up. He's gonna keep and secure that spot. Your top 3 starting to break away from the field just a little bit here. There you see Michael Sturgill, Mike Berg, as well as Brett Hahn, and then you got about close to about a 1.2 second gap back to the 25 of Nick Fleury running in the 4th position right now. Mike Berg trying to heat up the rear end of that 90 machine, make him mirror drive just a little bit earlier than what he might want to possibly use up the tires here. Drivers only 3 sets of tires for tonight's race, so your pit strategy, your tire strategy is definitely going to come into play. Speaking of Nick Fleury, there you see Tanner Tallarico closing the distance on that 25. Tallarico looking to go to the bottom into 3 and 4, but closing the door is that 25 of Fleury. Fleury now heads back to the top of the speedway off of turn 4, back across the stripe, half a car back is Tallarico lurking, wanting that inside. Looks like he's got it here. Gonna close the distance off of 2, but not have the run. Leave the 4 of Fleury in the 4th spot. Tallarico continues to try that inside lane. And back here, race fans, another battle going on. Almost into that outside wall. Tyler Beeman had Eddie Behan in that 55. Hit the wall just a little bit, scraping the wall right in front of him. I'm sure that was a quick eye-opening moment, or eye-popping moment. I'm sure these drivers' eyes are all open going around this speedway, upwards of 140 miles an hour entering these corners. And I know what you're saying, Dave, 140 miles an hour, really? That's nothing. Well, you go into any corner at 140 miles an hour and then tell me it's not scary. Well, I'll shake your hand. Just gonna leave it right there. Back at the front, battle not going away. Mike Berg still right there holding on to the tail end of Michael Sturgill. Sturgill looking to step away, but not being able to just yet. No, big run off of turn number 2 for that 81 of Berg. Now Berg crosses over looking for the pass on the inside. Here comes Berg side by side. It's a drag race off of 4 to the stripe. Give the 90 the advantage. Still leading that lap was Michael Sturgill. Now gaining the momentum once again, running that center lane. Not being able to come off the corner is the 81. He's going to lose a little bit of ground as he's got to get out of the throttle, jump out of the throttle not to wash up into that 90. No, that's kind of, you're going to kind of see that same theme. I don't want to say drivers going to pinch each other, but drivers just going to not allow their rivals to utilize every inch of the racetrack. 71 of Brett Hahn sitting right here in the 3rd position. He is watching the battle in front of him for the race lead. Loving what he sees, but not liking the fact that he has not been able to close in on those top 2 just yet, sitting about just about 1 second off of your race leader right now. We're going to go a little bit further back through the field. Tom Richard right there trying to close in on Crank Bell. Mike Grandy, Eddie Behan right there in the 10th spot. Crank Bell having a good run. Fell a few spots there on the restart since has gained. Now sitting right there in front of that 34 BladeNo.com sponsored Chevy ZL1 Camaro being driven by Tom Richard. Crank Bell tries to keep that 14 machine just in front of him. 73 of Bryson Clark, after struggling on the first few laps, has now got that underway. And Tanner Tallarico, we watched this battle begin about 7 to 8 laps ago, and it still is going on. Tallarico still not able to make the pass just yet. Looks like the advantage is going to be his this time by. Yes, has the preferred spot going into turn 1, but can the 25 of Fleury keep the run on the high side? No, he can't. Move Tallarico up into 4th, and Fleury now dropping to 5th. That's 3 positions gained from the start of today's race for Tallarico, and he is on a hunt for the front. Another battle going on here. You see 3, 4, 5 cars involved in this one. Eric Anderson, Bradley Beeman, Frank DiMaggio, Cole Gray, Jeff Sharp, Tim Rogers, David Gainforth, all battling right here, all packed up with each other. Battle on track between Tim Rogers, Cole Gray, Jeff Sharp, Frank DiMaggio, Bradley Beeman going on right now on screen. Jeff Sharp in that 19 machine drops right back to the bottom. Tim Rogers, he's right there trying to get past. Cole Gray not able to get the run just yet. Just behind him, the Flintstones machine. Man, I love that thing. David Gainforth, there you see him. Gonna get up close and personal. Why? Well, because I've got kids and they like cartoons. And who doesn't love the Flintstones? I mean, let's be real here. Big shout out for being a big man there. David Gainforth running the Flintstones Cartoon Network. Toyota Camry out here tonight in the Corn Country 135. Do appreciate your race fans stopping by. Thanks once again. If you haven't already, throw these drivers a thumbs up. Click subscribe. Smash the bell over there on the right-hand side. Get notified anytime we go live here on the Turn 3 Racing Network. Whether it's myself, Darkside Dave in the Cave, or anybody else back at the headquarters, we do appreciate each and every one of you stopping by. Whether you're the fan, the friend, the family, we don't care. We just love each and every one of you for stopping by, giving us a little bit of your time. And these race drivers do appreciate it as well. Back at the front of the field, the 90 of Michael Sturgill continues to lead Mike Berg off of turn number 2 back down the backstretch. These drivers have been battling for the last, 26 laps or so since the drop of the green flag. Michael Sturgill has been up there in command of the race. Mike Berg has made a couple of valiant attempts to take that race lead away, but has not been able to do so just yet. Brett Hahn running in a solid third right where he started today's race, just not able to close the distance, and these drivers may be looking in on the fuel strategy and tire strategy already as we are slowly moving in on a quarter of a way through tonight's race. These drivers going to have to be very mindful of the tires, be very mindful of how hard they push and when they push. Going to go back here with this 3-car battle. And I tell you what, race fans, why don't we jump on board now with the 73 of Bryson Clark for a few laps here, riding with Bryson now down into turn number 3. There you can see him on the outside trying to make the pass on that 25 of Nick Fleury. Has Tom Richard just behind him. Richter right there trying to take the spot away as well. Clark going to dive into 2. Great camera shots here today from Iowa Speedway being provided to you by Esteban. If you haven't had look down through the description, you can find the link over there to get to all the great camera shots here, not just at Iowa, but all over all of the tracks here on iRacing.com, the world's #1 racing simulator. And if you want some great car cameras, you want some great track cameras, head on down in the description. Click the link. Tell Esteban Turn 3 sent you. Fleury continues to hold this field off, holds Bryson Clark. Tom Richter off right now, sitting in the 7th spot. That's a battle 5th, 6th, and 7th on track. Nothing going on at the front of the field. Stepping away now to almost a 3/10 of a second lead is Michael Sturgill over Mike Berg. Berg has about a 2 to 3/10 second gap back to Brett Hahn. Then Tanner Tallarico, kind of a man in his own land right here. There you have it. Nobody really around him, sitting in the 4th spot. Has a 1.5 to go to get to the back of Brett Hahn, and about 2 seconds back to get to Nick Fleury. So Tallarico kind of, as I said, a man in his own land. Close 2-car battle right here on track as we work our way around this short, just a little bit less than a 1-mile oval track here in America's Heartland. Lap number 33 as Craig Bell tries to keep the 8th position away from Eddie Behan. Behan heading down into the corner, trying to take that spot away, and they got to be careful because Mike Grandy, he is just behind him. He's lurking in the background. He can get up there at any, at any time and start to play a little havoc on how this is all working out and how this is all shaking out for these drivers. We'll throw a little bit of information up about this battle you're watching on screen. There you see it. Craig Bell, Eddie Behan, Mike Grandy all battling for positions here as we reach lap 35 out of the 135 scheduled in the official race distance in tonight's Corn Country 135 here in the Cyber Thunder Pro Cup Series, presented to you by BladeNo.com. Simple web solutions powered by nerds. Continuing to watch this battle for 8th position on track as Behan tries to close the gap on Bell, but doesn't look like he's able to do so just yet. Slowly but surely, that gap is closing, but still having a little bit of a hard time getting there. We'll go back to this battle up here a little closer to the front of the field as Tom Richter, he is getting a little bit closer to the rear end of that 73 of Bryson Clark. Fleury just in front of them, able to hold off the hard-charging drivers behind him. And it looks like some of these drivers starting to get a little frustrated behind a few others out here on the track. There you see drivers just outside of the top 15. Frank DiMaggio just in front of this 78 of Bob Rogerson, Tim Rogers, Zach Shahalis, Jeff Sharp, and Brian Dorsey all lined up right here, all within about a second of each other. That is from 15th back to 20th spot on track. So small battles all over this track right now. And there you see, this is pretty much your closest battle on the track right now. 5th, 6th, 7th position, Fleury, Clark, Richter, all trying to battle for supremacy here. You know, I wonder who's mirror driving. I wonder who's just on the wheel, and I wonder who may be saving, because fuel strategy and tire strategy, I'm telling you, race fans, we're going to be talking about it all night long because it's going to come into play. I can guarantee you that. And I tell you what, why don't we go ahead and jump on board now with that 34 BladeNo.com Chevy ZL1 Camaro being piloted by Tom Richter. On board gyro cam here with that 34, and there you can see the banking. It's a progressive banking. I believe it's about 10 degrees. It's not a very large amount of banking, but there is some progressive banking, and you can lean on it a little bit. Track has a lot of character, so to speak, up near the high lane, up near that top lane. Pretty bumpy there in 1 and 2. As we see Richter steer clear of that and back off of turn number 4, trying to run down Bryson Clark as they've been able to do away. I say do away, but they've been able to work their way by Nick Fleury, who is still on the inside fighting with Richter here for position. So we'll take a look back here as this spot has not been decided just yet, and that is letting Bryson Clark step away from that 34 machine right now. And Fleury, he is fighting hard, man. And oh my, as we watch that battle, let's go look at this because it is about to get interesting. Brett Hahn, Tanner Tallarico, they have closed the distance. They are knocking on the door, and they are right there. It's going to be a 4-car battle for the race lead as we cross the line to begin lap number 44 out of the 135 scheduled in tonight's Corn Country 135, making their way around the number 24. Right now, the 24 is struggling on this long green flag run. Richard Pruitt going down one lap here as we reach the lap 45 mark, just a little under 100 lap, or just a little under or over, I don't know, 91 laps or so left in tonight's race. Oh, Berg with a little bit of a moment just in front of Brett Hahn. Man, 45 laps, your top 4 have come back together, working their way off of turn number 4 back to the stripe, and Michael Sturgill still trying to lead the race. And why don't we give you a little bit of battle information for you here. There you see it. There you have it. 160 miles an hour for these drivers making their way around these corners. This is the battle for first. This is the battle for supremacy. And oh, here comes Hahn. Hahn looking to the inside at the stripe. No, gonna leave the second spot in Berg hands right now. Now looking to the inside in turn number 1. Not going to be able to clear. Not going to be able to make up any ground. Got to watch that one of Tallarico. Don't open the door and let him in. Big wiggle off of 2 for Hahn that time by. Hahn got out of that groove up top, and now rolling by on the outside is that one of Tanner Tallarico, so in danger of not only not making the pass for second, but close to giving up that third position. Brett, the Jet, has got to stay on it, making the inside lane work, keeping that third spot away from Tallarico. Gonna slide up right there, take that third spot back, but here comes Tallarico to the bottom, looking to possibly repay the favor. Not going to be able to gain any ground through the center of 1 and 2. Now battling, splitting bumpers there for a moment between that 81 and 71 as the field looks to put yet another driver down one lap. The 26 of Jamie Beasley looks like he is the latest victim to fall here tonight. Jamie Beasley being scored the first car 1 lap down in the 29 machine. And Michael Sturgill, man, while this battle for the second position has started to gain a little bit of heat, Sturgill is liking what he sees, because there you see the gap beginning to grow for him. Now almost back to a 1-second lead. So as these drivers battle for the spot, they are letting that race leader walk away. Lap number 52 underway, closing the distance on the halfway point here tonight in the Corn Country 135. Green flag from the drop of the green flag here tonight. Your pole sitter has been out front the entire night. Michael Sturgill looking to do the clean sweep here tonight. Take the pole, start from the front row, lead the most laps, and win the race. Can he do it? Can he accomplish it? I don't think we've had that happen yet so far this season. So can Sturgill be the first driver to do it? He's going to have to keep some very fast, very hungry drivers, veteran drivers, victory lane visiting drivers behind him, because he's got Brett Hahn, Tanner Tallarico, Mike Berg, Bryson Clark all right behind him. He is the only driver in the top 5 that has yet to visit victory lane. But will tonight be the night here in America's heartland, Iowa Speedway? Can that 90 of Sturgill make it to victory lane? We'll have to wait and see as Brett Hahn slowly begins to close the distance here, slowly starting to track back down that 90 of Sturgill. And looking through the timing and scoring, we've got a few more battles. Let's jump back with this battle for 14th and 15th on track. Mike Grandy right there, and that 12 machine has the 14th spot, and Beeman trying to get up there and snatch that away. Tyler Beeman sitting in the 15th spot right now after falling through the field pretty deep, losing 7 spots since the drop of the green flag here tonight, as we've got the 14 of Crank Bell onto pit road. So green flag pit stops underway. 56 laps into tonight's race. We have got our first front runner onto pit road. We'll keep our eye on Bell's pit stop as the rest of the drivers look like they're going to stay out on track, and we've got close battles beginning to brew here. Tyler Beeman trying to keep Mike Grandy behind him. Here comes Chris Dean. Chris Wold back onto pit road. Oh, driver looks like he's missed pit road down there. Looks like Chris Dean may have had some issues. Oh, actually, that was not Chris Dean. Who was that? Oh, my goodness, I cannot see who that was. And you know what, race fans, we're just not going to worry about it. We're going to go back out here with the race action. Michael Sturgill, Brett Hahn, they continue to stay out on track, working lap 58 as green flag pit stops have begun. That's going to shake up the running order right here, so we'll wait just a moment before we do a little house cleaning, do a little update. You know how it is, Windows, boom, update kind of thing. No, sorry. Sorry, bad joke, bad humor. I know. As the green flag pit cycle continues, Brett Hahn in that 71 machine, he has hit the afterburner because the Jet is on his way to the front, hunting it right now all over that rear deck lid of Michael Sturgill's Toyota Camry. Can Brett Hahn take his Chevy ZL1 Camaro and put it back at the top of the scoring pylon? Yet to do it so far here tonight. Can he make it 2 in a row, or can Tallarico right there running in third spot spoil the party? Oh, and the 101 looks like he may be having some trouble. Dave Gainforth right there, slow getting up to speed. Not quite sure what that's about. We stay green flag racing here. Gainforth yet to hit pit road, so maybe missing pit road. We've seen that catch a few drivers out here tonight, so these drivers are going to have to be very mindful about when they decide to come. They're going to have to hit that exit of the racing surface in transition down there on the apron. They're going to have to nail it. It's going to be one of the most important things to do tonight, and that's exactly what happened to that 101. As he is now down on the pit road, going to lose a lap, possibly 2 here, after missing pit road the first time by. And we may have some drivers trying to split this race in half, as we are 63 laps into this 135-lap race here tonight from Iowa Speedway, the Corn Country 135. And man, oh man, it looks like these drivers are going to try to do this on just one pit stop. Your race leader staying out on track, Michael Sturgill leading Brett Hahn. Tanner Tallarico falling to the wayside just a little bit now, as we've got one of the back markers trying to make up a lap. Richard Pruitt and his 24 machine in the mix, but down a few laps. And as the green flag pit cycle continues, we're going to have just 16 drivers left on the lead lap out of the 27 that took to the starting grid here tonight. Andrew Payne and that 93 crew unfortunately couldn't get that Chevy ZL1 Camaro fired up, and were forced to push it back to the garage and have yet to come out on track. So Andrew Payne way behind the 8 ball here, gonna finish last here tonight from Iowa Speedway in the Corn Country 135 for Cyber Thunder BladeNode.com Pro Cup Series. More drivers hitting pit road. Brian Dorsey, Eddie Behan to pit road this time by. So still stretching the fuel, still stretching the tires. Are these drivers up here at the front? Your top 3 have broken away to a 3.5 second lead over Bryson Clark, Michael Sturgill, Brett Hahn, Tanner Tallarico. Continue this 3-car battle at the front with the lap machine. Just behind them, Richard Pruitt right there to pick up the pieces if something should happen between your top 3 drivers right now on track. Lap 67 down into turn number 3. Nobody looking like they're coming to pit road just yet. They're going to stay out another lap here. And I just wonder how much time are they giving up right now to this man, Crank Bell. First driver on and off pit road. He's got the fresh tires. He is picking them up and laying them down. Last time by, we'll wait for him to cross the line. 24-21 last time by for Crank Bell. That's about 0.7 of a second faster than your race leader, who's on pit road. Michael Sturgill gives up the race lead. Bryson Clark and Mike Bird all come to pit road, gambling right now. Brett Hahn, Nick Fleury, they stay out on track. Frank DiMaggio's going to stay out on track. Bradley Beeman, last driver on the track to not come to pit road. He's going to move up to the 5th position. Not coming to pit road that time by either is Brett Hahn, as Tallarico comes this time. Hahn, Fleury, DiMaggio, and Beeman, only 4 drivers yet to hit pit road, and Crank Bell, he has opened up quite a gap on the drivers that pitted after him, as he's now rotated back up to the 6th spot as Hahn brings it to a slow. Gonna come to pit road. We'll check out Fleury. He's coming to pit road. We'll watch this pit road entrance. Nice and clean, nice and clear into pit road. Gonna knock the cone out of the way, but Frank DiMaggio in that 95, he's going to continue to run out there on track, and Bradley Beeman looks like he may stay out on track, and no, Beeman going to come to pit road. Looks like he's well and clean and clear into pit road. No harm, no fouls for him. Getting to pit road, getting it woed up, but Frank DiMaggio, Kenny Okie Doke, everybody here stay out the longest and walk away with somehow a great race strategy here, as there is only 5 drivers left on the lead lap. Crank Bell unlapping himself just moments ago, and now just 2 drivers left on the lead lap after this round of green flag pit stops. Rear race leader, the 95 of Frank DiMaggio, and Crank Bell, who is just, there you see him, off in the distance, just in front of that 95. Here comes Michael Sturgill and the rest of the drivers that have already been to pit road. So Frank DiMaggio gonna have to work himself down and onto pit road here very, very soon. There you see the 82 rejoining the track, and it looks like the 95 shaking the car a little bit, maybe trying to see if he can go yet one more lap. Looks like he's gonna be able to stay out yet another lap, so staying out 73, now 74 laps on this set of tires. That 95 of DiMaggio, man, I'm telling you what, he's putting on a clinic on how to handle a car, but he is suffering the consequences dearly, as Brett Hahn gonna close the distance and make his way by, make him put himself back onto the lead lap, and DiMaggio staying out again. My goodness. DiMaggio with some blinking, with some connection issues. This could get bad sideways for a moment. He's going to keep it. And we'll just jump back here with the battle for the 2nd position. Now Crank Bell has lost the ground, has lost the momentum, and has fell to the wayside just behind Tanner Tallarico and Michael Sturgill. These 2 drivers battling on track, and Brett Hahn, man, he had lost 1.5 seconds, and caution flag flies. Oh my goodness. Frank DiMaggio looks like may have had an issue, so we'll go back here as DiMaggio on to pit road, and there you see the front end ripped off. We'll take a look back here, see what happened. DiMaggio down into turn 3. And here comes Fleury, and right through and around he goes, hard into the outside wall. Frank DiMaggio torn up late here in the race. That one's gonna be a heartbreaker. Back with a live look as Frank DiMaggio tries to bring his machine to pit road. There you see all the drivers on track catching up to the Chevy Silverado pace truck. Looks like Chris Dean, Tom Richter, Mike Berg, Bryson Clark, all to pit road. They're all going to come down and, most of these drivers were on pit road about 10 to 12 laps ago. So I'm interested to see who's going to take the 4 tires, who's just going to get gas, as they're going to have enough fuel. So who's going to take the tires here? And it looks like all the drivers going to take tires. Mike Berg, Chris Dean, Bryson Clark, Tom Richter, all going to take tires. So they've got the freshest on track. About 10 to 15 lap fresher tires than the drivers in front of them. Tanner Tallarico on to pit road on lap 69. Crank Bell on to pit road on lap 55. That's the biggest disparity right there. 22 laps different. Looks like a few more drivers electing to come to pit road. Frank DiMaggio comes back to try to fix some more damage. Tim Rogers, Chris Wold, Bob Roderson join the party down there in the pits right now. And while things get sorted out and things get shaken down, we're going to head off for a brief commercial break. Grab something to drink. Don't go anywhere, ladies and gentlemen. We'll be right back.
We got big-time problems with that motor, buddy. Hey, just between you and me, the idea is to avoid the other cars. Congratulations! You just set the sport back 30 years with that move. That move will put you in the Hall of Shame. You keep doing stuff like that and we're going to lose our sponsor. Looks like that's it for us today. Now I know why you got canned by your old team. It's over. We can't fix that damage. Your car is toast. You'll need a tow back to pit lane. Press and hold your reset button and we'll come and get you.
Backtrack side as promised. Field double file making their way into turn number 3. The Chevy Silverado Pace Truck lights are out. That means we're ready to go back. Green flag racing this time by for the first time. Somebody gonna lead them to green. That is not Michael Sturgill. Tanner Tallarico takes over the race lead on the inside row. Gonna bring the field to the restart box in 1, 2, 3 on the gas, and away we go. Green flag flies once again here at Iowa Speedway in the Corn Country. 135. Tallarico gets a good run on the inside after Berg had a great start. Drag racing down into turn number 1. Big time stack up off of turn 2. Brett Hahn barely sneaking by that 14 of Crank Bell. Flurry with the fresh tires, making a run on the outside. 3 wide, coming to the line on the front stretch on the restart. Richter and Flurry with fresh tires, splitting Bell. Here comes Berg with 4 fresh tires as well. Bryson Clark in that 73 machine, he's got fresh tires too. He's hunting the front. Once again, battle just in front of them. Tom Richter, Richard, and Nick Flurry. They're side by side, but can they close the gap to the drivers in front? And looks like they're going to be able to. Brett Hahn in danger now because the Sharks are in the water. Here comes Fleury. Here comes Richter. More battles on track, and Crank Bell is falling to the wayside, falling through the field. Oh, contact! The 22 into the back of the 91. Up the track goes the 91 into the wall. The 22 keeps it running. Zach Shahalis now looking to try to make a pass on Bradley Beeman, looking to get by that 92, put himself in a lucky dog position. Oh, the 48 big time loose. Tim Rogers, how did he save that 48 Lowe's Chevy ZL1 Camaro? I don't know. And more trouble on the track. Eric Anderson involved in this latest incident. There you see Anderson backed in to the inside wall just after pit road. We'll take a look here, see what happened. Oh, and Anderson with a little bit of a moment before it ever even happened, and then just not being able to get the car slowed and into the inside wall. There you see on the apron already, out of shape, and around he goes. And that's going to spell some trouble after the contact with that inside safer barrier. Well, race fans, just like that, you know what they say, cautions breed cautions. And that's what we've seen right here tonight. Our second caution of the night here at Iowa Speedway. Field gonna come to a crawl. We'll get ready to go back green flag racing here in just a few moments. Second caution of tonight. Tallarico gonna come to pit road. Brett Hahn gonna come to pit road. Michael Sturgill gonna stay out. Looks like Richter gonna stay out. Nick Fleury coming back to pit road. Bryson Clark, Christine gonna stay out. Everybody else gonna join these drivers on pit road. So with that being said, we're gonna break away for a brief commercial break. Don't go anywhere. We'll be back trackside with all your green flag action in tonight's Corn Country 135.
Our representatives are currently busy. Please stay on the line, and your call will be answered by the next available representative. The estimated hold time is currently less than 96 minutes. You are currently caller number 32.
Are you tired of getting blown out of the water by other web hosting solutions? At BladeNode.com, our affordable web hosting and quick customer support is our #1 priority. BladeNode Web Hosting was started with a mission to provide premium hosting at half the price as other hosts without sacrificing features, reliability, and 24/7 customer support with a live technician. Join our community today by visiting BladeNode.com and using promo code BLADE10 for 10% off your first package.
With the Butt Kicker Gamer 2, what you see and what you hear is what you feel. Butt Kicker. The future is feeling.
As the field works their way off of turn number 4, back through the front stretch, pace truck lights gonna go off. We'll get the one to go once again here at Iowa Speedway, and no pace truck lights gonna stay on. We'll have one more lap around this 0.89 mile of a track here in America's heartland. And race fans, this has been a great race. There's been battles all race long. Now we've had a few cautions and drivers' intensity picking up as we are closing in on the final few laps. About 46, 47 laps remaining here tonight. So gonna be a short little sprint to the end of this one. And Zach Shahalis very close to grabbing that lucky dog, but not being able to get by in time. Looks like he's going to be stuck back one lap right now, sitting in the 17th position. Frank DiMaggio, last car on the lead lap, running in the 16th spot. We've had quite a few drivers fall victim here and end up a few laps behind. Zach Shahalis, Tim Rogers, Chris Wold, Jamie Beasley, Bradley Beeman, Tyler Beeman, Richard Pruitt, Paul Turner, Dave Gainforth, Eric Anderson, and Brian Dorsey, all wishing they've had a little bit of a better run here tonight in America's Heartland, Iowa Speedway, here in the Corn Country 135 in Cyber Thunder Pro Cup Series. Presented to you by BladeNode.com. Simple Web Solutions, powered by nerds. And as the field gets ready to go back, green flag racing, that Chevy Silverado pace truck gonna make its way back onto the pit lane. We'll get ready to fire things off once again here tonight. There you see it, down and away, field hitting the restart line, and on the gas and away we go. Lap number 91 underway on the inside. Michael Sturgill trying to keep the fresh tires of Tom Richter. Behind him, Bryson Clark, but the fresh tires going to prevail. Big time run off of 2 for that 34 machine, and he's going to take that race lead by the time they get to turn number 3. Big stack up, 3 wide off of the exit of 4. 3 wide as Nick Fleury, Brett Hahn, and Chris Dean all battle for position, but Tom Richter, your new race leader, at the front. Big time wiggle and moment there off of 2 for Berg. He's going to find himself stuck middle, 3 wide through the center of 3 and 4. Still side by side battles for multiple positions. 3 wide for the front. 3 wide at the front of the field for a moment. Bryson Clark looking to make a pass on the outside, but Michael Sturgill not going anywhere. Big move now by the 73. Getting a little closer to the action as things begin to heat up. Bryson Clark on the outside looking to make his way by that 34 of Tom Richter for the top spot. Michael Sturgill continuing to stay out on those older tires. He's got Tanner Tallarico, Mike Berg, Chris Dean, Brett Hahn, Nick Fleury all over him. Crank Bell, Eddie Behan right there as well. 3 wide just behind Berg. Ooh, oh, and into the wall, hard, into the wall. Brett Hahn involved also. Hahn off the wall, down through pit road. That's going to be a penalty. Chris Dean with contact. Here comes the 22 of Shahalis up through the field, and oh my goodness, good day gone bad to even worse for that 71 of Brett Hahn. He is going to have to come to pit road, more than likely to serve a penalty. We'll have to wait and see how all that shakes out, but back at the front, 4-car battle underway. And I tell you what, race fans, why don't we mute the mic for a second, head down trackside for a little bit of Turn It Up. coming right at you, right in your living room. Sights and sounds here from America's Heartland here at Iowa Speedway for the Corn Country 135 in Cyber Thunder's Pro Cup Series, presented to you by BladeNode.com. BladeNode.com, simple web solutions powered by nerds. And while we were under our Turn It Up segment, Tanner Tallarico has once again reclaimed the race lead. Nick Fleury, Tom Richter falling through the field. Bryson Clark right there in third, trying to keep Fleury and Richter behind him. Crank Bell back up into the sixth spot, but Michael Sturgill, big loser here on this restart. He has fallen 6 spots on those older tires. And I say big loser here on this restart, but these two drivers right here running 12th and 13th respectively. The two had a big time moment into the outside wall and back across the field into the 71 of Brett Hahn. Hahn down through the grass onto pit road. No penalty for the 71, so he's going to keep it wound up, take that 12th spot away from the two of Dean, but both of those drivers with some pretty significant damage. They're going to need to see a caution flag fly to try to get some of that fixed up and have a fighting chance at the end of this thing here tonight, as Tanner Tallarico beginning to step away from Mike Berg. That lead is just now under 0.4 of a second as we have crossed the 105 lap mark here tonight. Top two drivers, Tallarico and Berg, beginning to step away from the field. There you can see Bryson Clark, Nick Fleury, Tom Richter, all lined up 1.5 seconds back from your race leader, Crank Bell, Eddie Behan right in tow, Michael Sturgill, Mike Gandy. They're battling for position right now. Behan looking to take that spot away from Sturgill as Gandy tries to make his way by. Morris does so that time by into 1 and 2. I mean, a 3 and 4, I should say, as Cole Gray slotted in just behind Morris. Brett Hahn slowly trying to make his way back up through the field, and he is doing so last time by pretty fast on the speed charts, just a few hundredths off of Tallarico's time. So don't count that 71 out just yet. Look for him to make an appearance here after I would say give him about another 15 to 20 laps, and then we may see that 71 of Hahn back up inside the top 10 and possibly knocking on the door of a top 5. Back up through the field. We'll look at this battle as Nick Fleury begins to close the distance on Bryson Clark. Tom Richter falling off the pace just a little bit now, just a half a second off of Fleury. Richter sitting about 2 seconds now off of Tallarico, as 26 laps remain here tonight in the Corn Country 135 in Cyber Thunder's Pro Cup Series, presented to you by BladeNode.com. Oh, and what's going on with the 12 of Grandy? Grandy losing some spots here. That number 1 Air Force machine losing some time now, scraping the outside wall. 25 laps remaining. The 48 of Tim Rogers sitting as the first car, 1 lap down, has that lucky dog in hand, and he is looking for a caution. He needs a caution, and the driver right behind him wouldn't mind seeing one as well. The 71 of Brett Hahn now looks to make his way by the 48, gonna be able to do so, have the preferred spot. Preferred lane down into turn number 1. Put Hahn right there now, knocking on the doorstep of that number 12 machine. Grandy off of turn number 4. He's looking for the back of the 44 of Cole Gray. Not missing any action at the front. Tanner Tallarico open up a 1 second lead now over the 81 of Mike Berg. Bryson Clark still sitting in that third and final podium spot. Not going to go anywhere, going to stay right here as we've got some great racing action on track. 2 two-car battles on screen right now. That's the 27 of Jay Moore's Cole Gray battle Battling for the 9th and 10th spot, Brett Hahn and Mike Grandy battling for 11th and 12th just behind him. And, well, you could actually say this is a battle for a top 10 right here, as Hahn looking to make that inside lane work, not able to do so just yet. The 12 keeping that Air Force Chevy Z01 Camaro wound up on the outside. Oh, a little bit loose there on the outside. Looks like Grandy's going to lose a little bit of ground now. Hahn able to make that inside lane work into turn number 1. Give the spot to Hahn. And Hahn right there knocking on that door of a top 10 with 2 drivers just off in the distance. Right in front of him, Hahn looking to work over Cole Gray, Jay Morse, and then set his sights in on that 90 of Michael Sturgill. Gonna jump back a little closer to the race lead as Mike Berg has got Bryson Clark and Nick Fleury to deal with. They have stepped away to a 1-second lead over Tom Richter, but Tanner Tallarico, man, he has shot out of a cannon on this latest restart and has not looked back. Race lead now 1.6 seconds back to the closest competition, and he is picking them up and laying them down. Frank DiMaggio, no front clip on his machine. Now falling 1 lap, being scored as the first car on the lead lap, being scored as the first car off of the lead lap in the lucky dog position. There you go. I'll get it right eventually, race fans. I promise. The 78 of Bob Rogers has his Ford Mustang sitting in the 15th spot, final car on the lead lap, and Brett Hahn continues his quest to back up through the field right there, all over the rear bumper of Cole Gray. We'll jump back here once again as that battle for second begins to brew and begins to get bigger. We'll jump up there here in just a second. We'll see if this run back to the front continues for the 71 of Brett Hahn, or if it's going to get stalled out right here around this 10th to 8th position. We'll have to wait and see, because Crank Bell, Michael Sturgill, Eddie Behan, they're battling for some spots here just in front of them. Oh, and Behan right there. Oh, close to Sturgill, and Sturgill's going to loop it. Sturgill's going to loop it on the front stretch down through the grass onto pit road. We stay green flag racing, and oh my goodness, Michael Sturgill running at the front, now being shown as the last car on the lead lap, half a lap down now. Tough break here late in the running in tonight's Corn Country 135 for that 90 of Michael Sturgill, and looks like nobody's going to have anything for Tanner Tallarico. His race lead upwards of 2 seconds over the drivers on screen, Mike Berg, Bryson Clark, and Nick Fleury. And I tell you what, as these drivers continue to battle it out right here on track, gonna head to a little bit of different ticker, show you a little bit different race in action here tonight. There you see it, 14 laps to go. Battle on track right now. Second place, Berg trying to hold off Clark and Fleury. Can he do it? Will he be able to keep those drivers behind him? Because here comes Tom Richter back into the picture as well. Looking to the inside of Clark now is Fleury. That's going to open up the door for Richter. He's on a way through 1 and 2. Back on the back stretch. Going to pull close to the bumper, but not going to be close enough. Big time run into 3 for that 34. Can he get up there and battle for that top spot? Not gonna get there just yet. Nick Fleury trying to drive off, trying to see if he can't go up there and snatch that second position away from Mike Berg, because nobody is in any type of position to try to catch up to Tanner Tallarico. Tallarico now out to a 2.3 second race lead over Mike Berg, running in the second spot. There you see Berg just in front of him in the 81. There's the 25 of Nick Fleury, the 73 of Bryson Clark, and Tom Richter right there involved in this battle. 3-car battle now, working their way off of turn number 2 back down the back stretch once again. And trying to go to victory lane for the 3rd time so far this season, Tanner Tallarico has his number 1 sitting pretty. at the front of the field. Nobody in front, nobody behind. 10 laps remain for this driver of the one machine, Tanner Tallarico, asserting some dominance here in the Cyber Thunder Pro Cup Series, presented to you by BladeNode.com. Once he had the race lead, he has not looked back, and he has stepped away from the field on this latest restart, now opening up a 2.5-second race lead over Mike Berg. Nick Fleury running in third, and Bryson Clark right there now in fourth. Tom Richter rounds out your top 5. Ooh, and Paul Turner going to pit road very late here. Not sure if he was trying to run the thing on out on fuel or what's going on with that, but nonetheless, the 42 having to make a late race pit stop. Just 8 laps remaining here tonight in the Corn Country 135 in Cyber Thunder Pro Cup Series, presented to you by BladeNode.com. And as we wind down the laps on the track here tonight and wind down things here on the Turn 3 Racing Network, do want to take another moment to thank each and every one of you for joining us here tonight, whether it's the fans, friends, family, or just the common come and goer, passerby. We do appreciate you stopping by here tonight on the Turn 3 Racing Network to join us for the Cyber Thunder Pro Cup Series, presented to you by BladeNode.com. And we do appreciate each and every time you do stop by. If you haven't already, throw these drivers a thumbs up. Let them know you appreciate all the great racing action out there on track. And, well, while you're at it, click subscribe, smash the bell over there on the right-hand side. Get notified anytime we go live on the Turn 3 Racing Network, whether it's myself, Darkside Dave in the cave, or anybody else back at the headquarters. We do appreciate each and every time you stop by. And, well, we've got the final 5 laps underway. Crank Bell trying to keep Brett Hahn and Cole Gray behind him, and Hahn is trying desperately to make up some ground, desperately trying to get back to a top 5. Not sure he's going to have enough time to get there, flirting with that outside wall. He's going to make that spot on Cole Gray, put Hahn into 7th, and can he make it a top 6, as he's got 3.2 seconds to get to Tom Richter and just not enough time left on the track. 4 laps remaining. Battle for the second spot still raging on between Mike Berg and Nick Fleury. Bryson Clark has fell off the pace and took Tom Richter with him. So it looks like your top 3 pretty much settled here tonight, as we've got 3 laps remaining here at Iowa Speedway. Off of turn number 2, the 81 gets a little bit loose, but let's check in with your race leader, Tanner Tallarico, coming to the line. Gonna see the popsicle sticks here at Iowa Speedway. Back into turn number 1, nice and smooth for the one machine, looking to bring this car back to victory lane for the 3rd time here this season. Can he get the job done through 3 and 4? Just one car in front of him and nobody behind. White flag gonna fly here at Iowa Speedway for Tanner Tallarico. Back into 1 and 2 for the final time. Back down the backstretch. Bring it on home nice and easy. Thursday night drive. No problem for Tallarico and the 1 crew, off of 4 for the final time. Checkered flag flies at Iowa Speedway. Capture the flag. Well done. Mike Berg going to finish the race in 2nd. Nick Fleury going to come home in 3rd. Looking for some more battles. Here you see Crank Bell, Tom Richter, Brett Hahn all crossing the line. Their nights are over. Michael Sturgill being able to stay on the lead lap after that late race spin. Heck of a job by the driver of that 90 to be able to keep the car on the lead lap, as your race winner, Tanner Tallarico, going to enjoy a little bit of celebrations here. Gonna get a victory lap around the track is Tallarico, so as he enjoys and soaks up this latest victory, we're gonna step away for just a brief commercial break. Don't go anywhere, ladies and gentlemen. We'll be right back with all your post-race interviews live here on the Turn 3 Racing Network.
The field is rolling on the back straightaway.
Get ready. This is going to be tight. Out of turn 4, ladies and gentlemen. The All-American 400 is underway.
Gotta be careful. The bumps here can get you every time. Entering the corner, exiting the corner.
Backtrack side here at Iowa Speedway as things have come to a close here in the Corn Country. 135 drivers put on one heck of a show here tonight. We'll see if we can't catch in with a few of the drivers out there tonight. Let's see if we can't catch up with the driver finishing in third position out there tonight, the 25 of Nick Fleury. It's Dave in the booth. You got a copy?
I do.
Hey, bud. Hey, man. How you doing? How you feeling out there? Great race.
Yeah, thank you. I'm feeling great. The car was running really well. I just let the race come to me and bided my time with the tires, and it worked out perfect.
Well, man, you've had some fans out there on the YouTube sides of things rooting you on throughout the past few weeks. Finally able to walk away with a podium after you've had some good runs, just not some great finishes. Finally being able to put all the pieces of the puzzle together. Has that been a bit of a struggle here?
It has been. I've been taken out a lot this year just by random wrecks. So it feels good to finally be able to put something together and finish about where I should be finishing once in a while.
Well, man, I'm also going to give you a high five, virtual high five, social distancing and all that. Can't get close to you, man. But the Ferrari shirt in the profile picture, brother, you're my best friend now. Love you. I'm a Ferrari man, so big shout out to you for that one. Heck of a job once again here tonight. Great run for you. How you feeling heading in towards next week?
Yeah, absolutely. I'm a big F1 fan, and Ferrari's definitely my team. But next week, I'm not sure where we are next week, but I feel pretty good every week because of all the wrecks. I've been knocked out of the points, and it's been great to come out and just have fun racing and not even think about points. So I feel excellent.
All right, my man. Well, once again, congratulations on a great run here tonight at Iowa Speedway, walking away in the 3rd spot here tonight. So before we let you go, Nick, would you like to give any shout-outs, thank yous, love yous, thank anybody on the side of that car?
Yeah, absolutely. I got to start with my sponsors, J&Go Home Improvements and CPM Incorporated. Next, my wife for sure. Love her very much. I got to give a shout out to my teammates, Brett Hahn and Eddie. They are fantastic to work with. And then finally, my driver coach, Tanner Tellerico. We're doing good things out here.
Yeah.
And my Lord and Savior, obviously.
Absolutely. On the hood right there, representing it. Love it. F1 not doing so good for Ferrari this year, but that's for another time and another discussion, Nick. Heck of a job once again, and congratulations. And we'll catch up with you next week.
Thank you very much.
All right, there you have it. That was the driver of the 25 machine, Nick Fleury, finishing in a 3rd. And you heard it from him, finally being able to put all the pieces of the puzzle together, finally being able to walk away with a full race, a solid race, walk away with the 3rd position. And let's see now if we can't go catch a few words or two with the driver that walked away in the 2nd position here tonight, the 81 of Mike Berg. It's Dave in the booth. You got a copy?
Yeah, I got a copy, Dave.
Hey, bud, how you doing? How you feeling after the run here tonight?
A little tired, man. That was a lot of green flag racing. It was good racing there with, Tanner, and then once I burned my stuff up, Nick came up and made it interesting for 2nd, but it was good racing throughout the whole race.
Well, the 81 machine looked pretty sporty there for a while. You looked like you were having a little bit of trouble every now and then again on the exit of 2. Describe for the race fans just how the cars were feeling coming up out of the corners here. Not a whole lot of banking to lean on, but just how's the car feel for you guys?
Honestly, I thought turn 4 was more of my weak point than turn 2, but I was decent on the short run. Basically, you'd have 2 laps where the car was really loose coming off 2 and 4, and then it would be pretty good for about 15 laps, at least in my case. And then, those were the laps where I could really get up there and, race. And then after that, I'm one of those iRacers who I just don't enjoy saving tires, so I never learned how to do it, and I never will learn. So once, it gets to a long run, I just kind of concede my position and let the fast guys go and, do my own thing back in wherever I was. But then everyone wrecked, so I ended up 2nd. So it worked out in the long run.
Well, sometimes presents are good things to have, huh?
Yeah, the 90, he made a different strategy choice than Tanner did. And to be completely honest, when it comes to strategy, unless I 100% know I have an extra set of tires, I'm just going to do what Tanner does, because he's pretty smart about that kind of thing. So I just saw Tanner pit and a few other guys not pit, and I said, fresh tires feel better, so I'm going to get fresh tires. And we just drove through, and there were a couple incidents there. Caused another quick yellow, and then one that didn't cause a yellow. That kind of thinned the herd, and we were able to just pass all the guys with old tires, and I just, settled into 2nd.
All right, Mike. Well, once again, congratulations on another great run here tonight. Not being able to get that top spot, but a 2nd place, nothing to hang your head about. A great run, as I said already. And before we let you go, would you like to give any shout-outs, thank yous, love yous, thank anybody on the side of the car?
Well, the people on the side of the car aren't really paying me. It's just a tribute to Davey Allison, so I don't really care to thank them other than for not suing me, and to everyone else who uses their logos without permission on iRacing.com. But BladeNode.com, they're actually paying for the series. They're the real sponsor out there. Every car should have BladeNode.com on it if they don't already. Cyber Thunder Racing League, all the admin staff, Tom, Tanner, and Crank, and everybody. And then the other guys out there for racing me clean. I had a real terrible race last week, so it was good to get out there and not wreck anybody, for one thing, not wreck myself, and actually finish the race.
All right, my man. Well, we'll try to catch up with you once again next week. Maybe on the top spot next time. What do you say?
Indianapolis is probably my best track in the sim. It's also the track where I have my worst luck, so don't count on it, but if it happens, I might cry a little.
All right, my man. Well, we'll catch up with you next week.
Sounds good, buddy. Thank you.
All right, there you have it. That was the driver that finished in second. Looking forward to next week. Kind of. That was the 81 of Mike Berg walking away with a second place finish here tonight. And, well, we'll go ahead and throw him up on screen because, well, that's your race winner. Victory Lane for the third time this season. And not only Victory Lane, but birthday boy, Tanner Tallarico. How you doing? How you feeling, man?
Oh, doing pretty good, Dave. That one right there was a wild one. I did not think we'd be as fast coming into tonight as we did, and I was telling my mom before the race started. She was wondering how she thought I would do, and I really don't have a whole lot of experience running Iowa. I've ran here a couple times in the trucks and stuff, but never really in anything faster than that. I think I've ran the Xfinity car here one time in Cyber, but the first run there, didn't really know what to expect, and I just kind of ran it the way the car wanted to run. Didn't really try anything too crazy. And I don't think I really had the speed at that point in the race to get up and really contend. But after we had our long run, we had a caution there, and I kind of adjusted the way I was driving, and I started driving it a lot like I run Richmond, and I usually run fairly decent there. And I guess it worked. But, yeah, it was awesome race, man. Good battle there with Berg at the end. We were just talking about that down in the waiting room. It's not very often you get to really run different lanes like that, battling for the lead on iRacing. Usually you're glued to one lane, but that was really cool to be able to battle with Berg there at the end. But yeah, pretty good race, and I don't think I've ever won on my birthday before, so that's pretty cool.
Well, man, it's one for the record books. I mean, it says you're 24, so birthday today. Not sure if they're compensating for that or not, and you don't have to tell her or not. But gonna mention something that you said about Richmond. This track actually modeled pretty much just after Richmond by Rusty Wallace and the founders of the track here. So very similar running lines, and glad you picked that up and you moved up to the front once you did. Third race win on the year for you. You came into tonight as the points leader. You're going to leave here tonight as the points leader. What's your thoughts moving forward in the regular season and looking towards the chase and a big race next week, Indianapolis Motor Speedway, or actually in 2 weeks, I should say, Indianapolis Motor Speedway. How you feeling about tackling that historic track?
Well, I look forward to going to Indy every time we go there. I actually really enjoy racing the place, and obviously, as you just alluded to, the history there with Indy 500 and, you know, the Brickyard, all the cool stuff they do there in motorsports. It's always cool to be able to go there and run there is one thing, but be able to go there and run good there is a whole different story, and hopefully we can go there and do the latter and just have a good time. You know, at this point in the season, we're kind of run to the point where we obviously still want to be able to run for wins, but also trying to be a little conservative just to kind of play it safe until the chase gets here. But yeah, I mean, looking forward to it, looking forward to the off week for sure. We've been going at it here. All of us have been going at it here. I don't think we've had an off week since the start of the season, so it'll definitely be a nice breather week for sure. But yeah, can't wait for the chase to get here as well.
Well, Tanner, man, once again, congratulations on a great run here tonight, walking away with the win, your third win of the season. And before we let you go, you want to give any shout-outs, thank yous, love yous, and I'm going to make a special request because it's your birthday. You're going to burn it down. Yeah, that's all there is to it.
Yeah, well, first and foremost, usually we have sponsorship on the car, but tonight was the only race out of the whole season that I didn't get locked up. So just running the generic colors on it tonight. But nonetheless, always thank you to Advanced Auto, Charlotte, and ProCoat. They've both been phenomenal partners so far this year. I really, really want to get Advanced into Victory Lane. So far, it's only been ProCoat for the other 2 wins that we've had this year, but I really want to get those guys into Victory Lane. And, you know, my teammates, Tom and and Tim. Andrew wasn't able to make it tonight, but Andrew as well, and all my friends, Brett and Nick and Crank and everybody of the league, really, you guys for putting this on. And just real quick, I do want to say I want to dedicate this race to my grandpa. We lost him a little over 2 weeks ago, and it's been pretty difficult. I was really wanting to win the Rockingham race for him, and that kind of didn't exactly work out, so that was kind of a big blow to my confidence a little bit. But just want to dedicate this one to my grandpa, and I know my grandma's watching and my mom and everybody that's watching at home. We're missing him, but I want to give this one to my grandpa for sure.
All right, Tanner. Well, class act for sure. I know this one's going to hit close to home for you, be one to remember for a very long time. Congratulations on a great win, and enjoy your celebration, my man. You deserve it.
Thanks, Dave. We'll see you in 2 weeks.
There you have it. The man of the moment, the man of the hour, dominating the season so far with the points lead, walking away with the third win of the season. There you see him. Birthday boy, race winner, the one of Tanner Tallarico, racing with a heavy heart over the past few weeks, but still finding a way to get it to victory lane. Great job. Great performance out there tonight by him and the entire crew on that one car, putting in victory lane. And just a heck of a job, heck of a way to end the night here tonight with the birthday boy winning. And man, as he enjoys his as he enjoys his lap around the track, we'll see if there's anything left. And I don't think there's very much left at all, except to begin well, there it is. Producers pushing the buttons. It's time for your unofficial race results here tonight from the Corn Country 135, live here from Iowa Speedway, walking away with the race win, the third one on the season, the one of Tanner Tallarico. Walking away in the second position here tonight, the 81 of Mike Berg. Nick Fleury going to round out your podium spots in the third position. Bryson Clark bringing his 73 machine home in the fourth spot. Fifth place will go to Tom Richter. Crank Bell going to be in sixth. Brett Hahn, after a late race incident and driving back through the field, going to finish tonight in the seventh spot. The 44 of Cole Gray going to round out your top eight. Eddie Behan in ninth. Jay Morris in the 10th spot. The 19 of Jeff Sharp going to come home in 11th. The 12 of Mike Grandy finishing in 12th. And 13th will go to Chris Dean. Bob Rogerson right there in 14th. Michael Sturgill will finish tonight's race after being your pole sitter in the 14th spot. Final car on the lead lap. The 48 of Tim Rogers gonna come home in 16th. Bradley Beeman in 17th. Tyler Beeman 18th. And in 19th spot, Chris World. Frank DiMaggio brings the 95 home in 20th. Zach Jahalis gonna bring the 22 home in 21st. 22nd going to Richard Pruitt. 23rd, Brian Dorsey. David Gainforth brings the Flintstones 101 home in 24th. Paul Taylor with some late trouble gonna bring the 42 home in the 25th spot. Jamie Beasley gonna finish tonight in the 26th. 27th goes to Eric Anderson, not being able to get the car fired, but finishing in the final spot here tonight in the 28th spot. The 93 of Andrew Payne. Well, that's it. That's all there is here from America's Heartland here at Iowa Speedway. Another great one in the books. Tanner Tallarico walking away with his third win on his birthday, honoring his grandfather here tonight. And what a way to do that, walking away with a race win, dominating fashion from the final restart. So big shout out to Tanner and the whole One Crew getting the job done here tonight. And with that being said, we're going to go ahead and roll things up, roll on out. We'll see you in 2 weeks at Indianapolis Motor Speedway. Going to take the day off for Turkey Day. So stay safe, stay loved. Until we see you again, I'll meet you. Well, you know where to find me. turn 3.